Bring your hands palm face down, either onto your knees or if your legs are together, onto your thighs. Start tuning into that sound of your breath. And palm face down is going to help us ground. Pulling our energy back into the space of our body and the space and time. Letting all of those distractions that pull our attention all day melt off our shoulders. So you notice the 2 points of your hips on the mat, and you notice the sound of your breath. You notice the gentle music, the breeze of the air on your skin. And then tune in a little bit deeper, right under the skin. Notice where in your body there might be some tightness, some constriction in your breathing. If you had a good workout maybe earlier in this week, or potentially have a little bit of tightness from how you were sitting at your desk, just take a second here to notice how that is physically resonating in your body. And now tune in just a little bit deeper. So are some of those physical attributes potentially causing distress in your mind, or is there something in your thoughts that is continuing to drag you away or pull you away? Has there been an overwhelming feeling this week for you? And so take this moment to recognize your mind, your body, and the subtle feeling underneath the surface. And let's see if we can break that open a little bit as we expand into our chest, our shoulders, and then also get upside down. All right. So if you are not in a cross-legged position, then please do come down into one right now and bring your hands onto your knees. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to take a cat-cow-like movement. So flexing and extending our spine in a wave-like motion, but in a seated pose. So it looks like this. Grabbing onto your knees as you inhale, you'll pull your chest through and lift your chin. As you exhale, starting with the head, let your chin tuck, start to roll and press your back behind you, letting your pelvis curl under, and you'll feel that very base of your sit bone hit the mat. Then leading with your head again, inhale, come up and through, let that wave ripple down your spine. And then exhale, feeling a hollowing out as you do. Inhale, roll through your shoulders, pull your spine long. And exhale, press your spine back. Feel your shoulder blades pull away from your spine as you hollow out. Inhale, pull your chest through. Engage your core as you lengthen and lift. And then exhale, last time, round the spine. Inhale, come up to a comfortable seat. And we'll get a little bit into side bodies. So you're going to take your left hand, place it down to your left side. Inhale your right arm up. And then exhale, stretch overhead, keeping both hip bones rooted into the ground, letting your elbow tip come into your side. Rotate palm down. So you are actually, if I was forward, externally rotating your arm. as you press the palm down, framing around your head. Keep pressing down more through that right hip as you extend the right arm overhead, and take a deep breath in. Find a little bit more room in that right lung. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Deepen the stretch. Inhale, engage your core. Pull back up to center. And then bring the right arm down to your side, right outside your hip. Left arm comes up, inhale. Start to bend your elbow in towards your side ribs, and then exhale, reach overhead. So again, thumb is behind you, pinky forward, so that's externally rotating. Drop down. Keep rooting down through that left hip, as though it was stuck in the mud on your mat, unable to be pulled up. So whenever you're doing a side stretch, or really any kind of stretch, you need a point, an anchor, to be pulling from. And so right now, that anchor is your hips. Let your ear maybe drop down towards your shoulder. A deep breath into that left lung. So now breaking out the space around your heart to the left side. So we did forward, back, right, and now left. The breath in and out. Then engage your core. Inhale, come up, plant that hand down. So you should be seated, hopefully to the front of your mat. You're going to walk your hands forward and do a forward fold over your cross legs. Let your chin drop into your chest. Inhale, gaze forward. Walk your hands even more forward so that your hips start to rise, and then roll over your knees. Bring your knees wide on your mat, big toes together to touch, and then exhale, press back, child's pose. Bring your forehead down to the mat, keep your arms strong, and then tense your fingers. So the finger pads press down, your palm is lifted. So your arm is elevated off of the mat. This is going to let you start to open up those shoulders a little bit more. Inhale, and exhale. Press your palms down, keep your big toes touching. Inhale, push up to all fours. Let your hips start to drop down. Elevate your feet, keep your big toes touching. Hands shoulder width distance apart, and then pull your chest forward between your hands. So feet are lifted. Maybe toes start to reach towards your back. Lift your gaze, and then exhale. Draw your navel up and in. Roll over your knees. Toes back down, arms long. Forehead down. Tense your fingertips. Pull your hips long. Inhale. Exhale. Another deep breath in. Plant your palms down. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Coming through wide leg, all fours, and then toes start to lift as you rock over your knees, palms down, pull your chest through. So it's a cobra-like pose in the upper body. Big toes touch, lift your gaze, take a breath in, and exhale. Another deep breath in. And then exhale, release your feet down and long. So they're going to be wider than the mat. See if you can get your pelvis down. Roll your shoulders together and down your back. And feel your belly start to stretch open. So as we get into the holiday season, if you ever get like a tummy cramp from eating too much, this is a great way to just open up all of the digestive organs, and sometimes it helps that cramp go away. All right, slowly bend your elbows, lower all the way down to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then bring your legs back in, shoulder or hip width distance apart. Tuck your toes. Inhale, press up. Now finding a figure four, more of a traditional one. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of those wrist stretches that we did last week. Inhale, left arm up and around. We're gonna roll those shoulders out 3 times, big windmills. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fingers sweep the mat. Last time, inhale, rise. Palm back, and then as you pull through, bring your wrist forward, fingertips back. So your forearm is pointing forward on the mat. Thumb out to the side. You can always take this a little less dramatically with fingers out to the side of the mat versus straight back to your knee. Inhale, rock forward, bend your elbow. And then exhale, shift back slightly. See if you can keep the heel of your hand on the mat. Inhale forward, bend your elbow. Exhale back. Last time, inhale forward, bend your elbow just slightly. And then exhale back. Lift your palm up. So your fingertips are still pressing down on the mat. Your weight is shifted more back, so it's not quite as much pressure. Elbow is bent, and now just stretch a little bit more across your palm. And slowly peel that hand up and bring it back forward. Moving on to the right side, inhale, right arm forward, up. Exhale down, let your fingertips graze the mat. Inhale, round up and over. Exhale back. Last time, up and over. And this time, as your fingertips graze, plant your palm down on the mat. Spread your fingers wide, back towards your knee. All right. Shift forward, bend your elbow slightly. If you have anything around your wrist, you need to move it up, maybe a watch. And then shift back, trying to keep the heel of that palm planted. So forward, you'll see the whole heel of the hand is down as you move back slightly. Whew. Right. Inhale forward, bend the elbow. Exhale, try and keep that hand planted. Shift back just slightly. Inhale forward, palm wide. Exhale back. And then with that weight back, slightly elevate the palm of your hand so that you start to feel that stretch right across the middle of your hand, metacarpals. Keep spreading your pinky and your thumb as far away from each other as they will go. And then peel the palm up, big circle, back, forward. All right, from here, back on all fours, we're gonna move right into dolphin pose. All right, so with our palms down, we're gonna lower our forearms down to the mat. Grab onto your biceps so you have your elbows right underneath your shoulders. And then plant your palms back down. If you want a little extra support, interlace your hands, press the pinky edge down. If you're not interlacing your hands, then do your best to spread your fingers as wide as they'll go. Press your forearms down, gaze back to your knees and tuck your toes. Inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, shift your head back so it's hanging down between both of your biceps. Now you want your head to stay lifted off of the mat. Inhale, walk your toes in. Your hamstrings are tight. You can make it a little bit wider. Exhale, press into your forearms, press into your palms, and feel more weight shift back into your feet. Keep pulling your elbow tips towards each other. Walk your hips up high. Walk your toes in. Inhale. Exhale, shift back, and then hold. Breathe in. Feel the space behind your heart start to get big with your breath. As you exhale, work on shifting your chest a little bit closer to your knees. So you're opening up your shoulders here, but we're doing it in such a way that we're continuing to integrate and use the strength of our shoulders to hold us up. So in this posture, it's hard to overstretch when you're actually using the muscles. Inhale, maybe walk your toes in a little bit more. Exhale, pull back. Keep pressing your forearms down. Feel that space all the way up into the side bodies around that shoulder, working to hold you up. One more breath here. And then exhale, lower your knees down, bring them together, and bring the tops of your feet together. Shift your hips back, so you're a very tight little ball, and then lower your forehead down. Reach your arms back so that the back of your hands lay on the outside of your feet. Relax and melt over your bent knees. Feel your shoulders drop down and forward. Take an inhale. There's a lot of constriction in the front body. So instead, the breath moves into the back body. One more time, try and take a deep breath in and out. Bring your hands forward. Slowly lift yourself up into all fours. Now we're going to start to work a little bit on our core strength. So, step back with one leg and then the other into a plank pose. So our inversion that we're working towards, that we're building strength up to tonight, is Adho, Mukha, Vrksasana, which means downward facing tree pose, commonly known as handstand. So right here in your plank position, I want you to rock a little bit forward so that your shoulders are over your wrists. And then notice if your hips are sagging down, or maybe you feel your hips really high up in the air. Do your best to auto-correct, bring them down. You'll first start to feel what's referred to as the lunar core. So this place, thumbs at your navel, right below there. I want you to pull that in. Then solar core is at your diaphragm. Notice if your ribs are hanging out like they might in a cow pose. Pull your ribs in. Then move your awareness up to your heart. Take a deep breath in and feel around your heart expand forward, back, side to side. Keep holding your plank. You can always come down to your knees here. One last core I want you to think about. Are you craning your neck and looking at the screen? If so, gaze down, about 6 inches in front of your palms, right in the middle of your mat. Now, as you start to line up your gaze, the very top 7 vertebrae start to stack. So this core is sometimes referred to as the palatal plane. So the plane of your mouth. And it's not lined up with the floor. Instead, it's in line to bring your entire spine into line. Take one more breath in. Whew. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Extend your left arm out, palm down, and then gaze away from it. Press your right hand into the mat and roll onto your left side, taking a nice big shoulder stretch. Not only does this open our shoulders, but it opens our chest. Take the right leg, bend it, plant it behind you. Press more into your right hand. Start to roll more onto the left side of your body. Inhale. Whew. Exhale. Take 3 more breaths here. Start to feel the front of your body open. And for this class tonight, keep your right palm or right pads pressing down into the mat. And slowly straighten your right leg. Roll back onto your tummy and extend your right arm out. You want to make sure it's perpendicular, palm wide. Then place your right ear to the mat. Tense your left fingertips. Inhale, head down. Exhale, roll onto the right side. Take the left leg, bend it, plant that foot behind your extended knee. And then keep your left arm down. Open up your right palm, the one that's in the floor. Exhale, press that palm into the mat and open your chest. Breath in, breath out. One more time, inhale and exhale. And slowly roll back into center. Nice and long. While we're on the ground, we're gonna do this little exercise. So you're gonna find your strap. You're gonna want it out in front of you. So you're gonna stay laying on your belly. I'm just gonna demonstrate really quickly standing up. So this is actually something that I learned while doing a handstand practice at a circus group. It was just kind of fun. Totally like a non-yogic approach to the fundamentals of handstands. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on extending our arms, keeping our arms strong, and then lining up those 4 cores that I talked about. So that's a little bit more of the yogic side. The arm and then the integration and this actual exercise is more of the physical circus side. So we're gonna meld these two together. All right, so lying on your belly. You're gonna extend your arms forward, find your strap or your belt, and you want your hands to be a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart, so that essentially the strap could go from shoulder head to shoulder head. All right. Now from there, you're gonna bring your forehead down to the mat, tuck your toes. So your toes are pressing down into the mat. Press your lunar core down. So press your pelvis down into the mat. And then zip up your core all the way to your diaphragm. Take a deep breath in. Feel your heart. Line up there, and then forehead is into the mat, so palatal plane is lined up. Now start reaching and stretching through your hands. Pull them forward, out. Your forehead down, keeping your hips pressing down into the mat. And then maybe as you press forward and out, your hands elevate. Keep your cores engaged. You might be able to reach your arms pretty high up. Just keep that integration. Notice if your pelvis started to lift. So that's the first place in an inversion where the curvature of your spine starts to sag and you start to rest on your bones instead of integrating. You get a really big sway back. So you want to keep pressing your hips down. Stretch your arms forward. This should be pretty exhausting. One more breath in. And exhale. Lower. Bring one cheek to the mat. Untuck your toes and bring your hands down by your side. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to do that one more time. So this is like handstand on our mats. Tuck your toes. Reach your arms forward. Find that strap. Now, if it was really easy to get your arms high off of the floor, then try walking them in maybe a little bit closer. Forehead down. Start rippling the integration of your body. Tuck your toes. Press your heels out, back. Engage your legs down. So legs are strong, hips are grounded. So you're pressing that lunar cord down into the mat, keeping that line all the way to your diaphragm. Breathe into your heart. Feel your ribs expand. Keep that middle section engaged. Make sure that your forehead is grounded, so your spine is long, and then press. Reach through your hands and out wide. Hips down. Inhale. Exhale. Are you breathing? Stretch forward, stretch wide, lift up. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let everything melt. Untuck your toes. Lift up. Bring your left ear to the mat. Arms down by your side. Whew. So every muscle that was engaged, see if you can let it go here. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more time. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, press up and slightly back. Keeping your toes tucked. Start to straighten your legs. Coming into downward facing dog, move your feet hip width distance apart. Press your palms down and wide. Stretching your legs towards straight. Inhale, hips high. And exhale. Let your chest come through your arms. Press. Find nice, strong arms in your down dog. Keeping your thumb and your pointer finger grounded into the mat. See if you can roll the eyes of your elbows a little bit more forward. Then press down again more through your thumb and your pointer finger. So as you press down, you're internally rotating your arm. As you open the eyes of your elbows forward, you're externally rotating your arm. It creates a candy cane-like swirl of integration all the way up those stems, which will soon be the base of our pose. Inhale. Exhale all of the air out. Gaze forward, step, step, or take a little hop to the front of your mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Press into your shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Drawing yourself down. Arms sweep wide and inhale, come all the way up to standing. Fingertips touch. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. Drop them all the way down. Inhale, sweep up. And then exhale, fold. Bend your knees gently in your Uttanasana, forward fold. Press into your shins, elevate your heart, lift halfway. And then exhale, plant your hands. Step your left foot back into a nice long lunge. Keep your hands around your right foot. Pull your palms up, pinkies or finger pads down rather, and pull your chest through. Keep your left leg super straight and strong. Then plant your palms down. Keep your left arm grounded. Reach your right arm up for a revolved high lunge. Reach it back behind you. Sweep it all the way back down and step back into plank. All right, again in your plank pose, lower your hips down. Think Lunar core, think about right at your diaphragm. Solar core, solar plexus. Inhale into your chest. Make sure you're gazing down, lining up the top of your head. All right, then keeping your gaze down, maybe lift the left arm up, right leg up, and then lower down. Press back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg up, and then bend your left knee. Open your left leg out to the left side, and then plant your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Very weird hybrid pose. So it's like you got tree pose in your legs and down dog in your arms. Inhale, come forward into plank. Do your best to keep that left knee elevated. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. So you're doing tree pose, but on your belly. All right, untuck that right leg. Move your arms a little bit forward. Inhale, come up. Take your left arm, thread it through underneath your right, and your left shoulder will come down to the mat. Nope, the wrong way. Come back up, Sphinx, right arm underneath the left. Right shoulder rolls down to the mat. Yep, that's the right way. Keep pulling your right arm through. Inhale, left arm up, and then exhale, lower your left arm behind you. So we're in a vertical or a twist pose. Instead of it being a supine spinal twist, it's a little bit more of a prone approach to a spinal twist. Inhale, really feel your left shoulder open, and exhale. One more time, inhale, and exhale, slowly undo. Bring your hands back down. You can straighten your left leg to meet your right. Tuck your toes. Inhale, press up and back, down dog. Look forward, take a breath in. Exhale all of the air out. Bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, elevate your heart, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, bring your palms together. Draw your thumbs down midline. Let them drop down. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold in two. Inhale, press into your shins. Exhale, hands down. Step your right leg back to a nice long lunge pose. Pull your fingers or your palms up, finger pads down. Keep your right leg super straight and then gaze slightly forward. Giving a nice strong lunge like a dart. Then lower palms down to the mat. Lift your left arm up and open into a revolved lunge. Feel your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left hand down, step the left foot back, coming into our plank position. All right, let's line them up. Lower hips down, pull your navel in, stitch your ribs together. Take an expansive breath into your heart, and then keep your gaze down. Lift, right arm up, keep your gaze down, left leg lifts. Take a breath. Exhale, lower right arm, lower left leg. Bend your knees, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Bend your right knee, and then open your right leg to the side. Like you're a dog being on some tall grass. And then bring the bottom of your right foot in so it finds your inner thigh, or the inside of your knee is fine because you're not putting too much pressure on it. Inhale, come forward. So it's a little bit harder again. Core is engaged. Try and keep that right knee lifted. Rock forward and exhale. Whew, lower all the way down to the ground. Untuck those left toes. Bring your palms a little bit forward of your shoulders. And inhale, press up into a modified Sphinx pose. Keep the right palm down. Sweep your left arm underneath, threading the needle. Set your left shoulder down. Set the top of your head down on the left side and reach your right arm up. Inhale. So this bottom knee, the knee that's in the tree pose, it might just slide a little bit as you start to open, and that's okay. Also, the right shoulder, the top shoulder, may never, ever get down to the ground. But your knee will probably stay down. So it's just a different feeling as to where the twist is pulling because of gravity. Breathe in and out. Feeling again a stretch around your shoulder, around all of those pectoral muscles that are working when we're working our shoulder. And then slowly reach the right arm back up and down. Press into the mat, slide your left arm through, and then straighten your right leg. Palms under the shoulders, tuck your toes, inhale, press up and back, downward facing dog with your head hang. Inhale forward, exhale all of the air out. Bend your knees and come to the front of your mat. All right, and then you're gonna come down to your knees. So we're going to move to the wall for the first time. We'll come back to our mat and then we'll move to the wall for the second. All right, so I'm going to rotate this camera slightly so that you get a good view of what I'm going to be using as my wall tonight, which is my door. And it's kind of nice because it actually has some lines on it. So that way you'll be able to kind of see. So I'm going to want to put my legs hip width height. So what that is essentially right about at the middle of that. So you might want to just stand by your wall and be like, what is hip height? All right, next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your mat over so that it can come to your wall. And what we're gonna be working on is called L handstand at the wall. Now you can also do this with your forearms down. And so you're working into a forearm balance and practicing that. First thing to know is that takes a lot of strength. But it's a pretty safe pose in that you're not going to be kicking into anything. You're not going to accidentally end up in a wheel position. It's pretty hard to do that here. Second thing that you're going to notice is that you're going to want to pull and walk your hands forward out of this pose. Don't do that. Instead, what I want you to find and start to feel is when things start to line up. So we were lining up lunar core, solar core, vital core, palatal plane, right from the bottom up. This time, as we go into our inversion, we're going to be lining up palm, shoulder. So that's kind of like this first one, this first palatal plane, then chest, then navel, and hips. Okay, so what I want you to do is come to take a seat, scoot your booty all the way against the base of your wall, and then I hope you have some dry skin on your heels like I do. You're gonna just take that and rub it against your mat. I got a lot to work with. I'm told it's hereditary. All right. So you're making a mark, right? When you find that horizontal line, you're going to come to all fours. Plant your palms down on the mat. Now you want the heels of your hands to now touch all of that skin that you rubbed off the heel of your foot. Our body is a puzzle. Tuck your toes, press the bottom of your feet into your wall. So this is where we're going to start. And that gives us the length of our legs, right? Now in this distance of all fours. You also notice that everything is at a 90-degree bend. All right, from there, pressing your hands down into the mat, hands shoulder width distance apart or a little bit wider. You're going to lift up into a very short down dog. Now, if you want to watch this part and then meet me, you can do that. I'll come back down. All right, so palms are pressing into the mat. My gaze is back at my feet. Now, remember where hip height was? I'm going to move my legs up the wall so my heels come to that hip height. As I press my feet into the wall, my wrists, shoulders, chest, bottom of ribs, and then hips start to stack. Press your hands into the floor. Press your feet into the wall. The more you commit and have strong legs, the more they're going to hold up. If you halfway commit with your legs, they're going to slide right down. Doesn't matter how many ribs you have on that wall. If you don't commit, your legs are going for a ride. But you just end up right here on all fours. So, like I said, low consequence fall. All right, so let's do it all together. If you lost that mark, again, rub more of that heel grit onto your mat. Place the heels of your hands down and then press the bottom of your feet into the wall. Spread your palms. These are going to become your base. Think about pressing through the pinky and thumb, shining the eyes of the elbows forward. Press your palms down, inhale. Lift your hips, exhale, short down dog. Breathe in here. Keep pressing through your hands so that your hands stay strong and integrated. Bend one knee. You're going to stack it up as high as your hips. Start to press into that foot and then lift the other up. You can have a gentle bend to start. Plant your palms down and then press your feet towards straight. Now do your best here to gaze back at the wall so that your whole spine is long. You can think about all of those cores integrating. Your arms might start to fatigue. If you want to do more, you can lift one leg, and then you can really start to feel everything starting to stack. Switch legs. Back down, bend your knees, and step down. Bring your knees together, untuck your toes. Sit back on your heels, close your eyes. All right, so reflect back. Were you breathing? Was it scary? Were you able to think about your grocery list when you're upside down? Probably not. So inversions are a really great practice to stay in the moment. There's so much to think about. We're literally flipping our body upside down. There's a lot of physical awareness that needs to happen to restack our body against gravity. How did that feel? Slowly come back forward. Move your mat away from the wall. We'll do one more flow, and then we'll take it back to the wall. And you can either do L handstand again, or we can work on kicking up. All right, re-straighten. Okay, come to the front of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold into. Inhale, press into your shins, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your left foot back. Pull your chest forward, coming into a high lunge like a dart. And now this time, lower your left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, thumbs back, pinkies forward, open your chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, frame your right foot. Inhale, this time straighten your right leg. Pull your right toes up, right heel stays rooted down. Think about plugging your right femur head back into your hip socket. Take an inhale, exhale, fold. Breath in and breath out. One more time, breathe in and out. Inhale, come back forward, plant your right foot, plant your hands, step back, find your plank. Really quickly, we're gonna do it again. All right. Line up, hip, ribs, chest, top of your mouth. Press into the right hand. Lift your left arm. Lift the right leg. Whoo, hold. Oh yeah, feel your core work. Lower down. Inhale, we're gonna move right into the second side. Press your left hand down, lift the right arm up, lift the left leg up, stretch long, take a breath in, lower down. Inhale, bend your knees, exhale, straight back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, exhale, step it forward. Tent your fingertips, pull your chest through, high lunge. And then lower your right knee down, press the top of your right foot down. Sweep your arms up, inhale. Exhale, let your thumbs drop maybe behind you. Open your chest to the ceiling. Bring your hands back down. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Ooh. Pull your left toes up, ground the left heel down. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your straight left leg. Doing your best to keep your spine long. So there is actually a fold at the hips and not so much of a rounding and melting, but a strong leg and a strong back. Breath in, breath out. Come back forward, plant the left foot down, tuck the back toes, and step forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Keep your arms wide. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands down to heart center. All right, let's do this. Bring yourself back to the wall, moving your mat up against the base of the wall, and we are going to finish out class here with the wall as a prop. You also can use a strap for the very last pose, so make sure it's somewhere close. And if you want to continue to work on L handstand at the wall, go right on into that. If your heel mark is gone, then sit against the wall and you'll put that heel mark back on your mat. Let's do this a little bit higher. There we go. Okay, if you're working on wanting to kick up to the wall, here is a little trick. First off, you might want to approach this like a cartwheel. You're like, I need momentum. We don't want momentum. Instead, we want controlled integration, and we want to stack. So resist the urge to rock, and instead, I want you to come and plant your hands down. You want them about 8 to 10 inches off of the wall. Now I'll demonstrate this first so you can kind of see it, and then you can try it. So hands shoulder width distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. Fingertips 8 to 10 inches off of the wall. You're gonna lift up into your shortened down dog, gazing back at your toes, and then walk yourself a little bit more forward. So the first thing I want you to do is lift your heels up so that your wrists, elbows, and shoulders start to become vertical. And then from there, walk your toes in more so that your hips are as close to being vertical as possible, just like walking your toes in on dolphin pose. From there, lift one leg up. Bend in the standing leg. Keep the lifted leg super straight. Just like our handstand at the wall, you want your legs strong. You don't want them to be loose noodles. So strong lifted leg, gaze down, inhale, exhale, rock forward, bend your knee, and with no air in your lungs is when you're gonna kick this leg, keeping the lifted leg super straight. Exhale. And so you might try that a couple times. Once you do get up, I want you to flex your feet, press through your hands, and imagine you could scrub your heels now on your wall or your door or whatever you're using. Then start to line up hips, diaphragm. So you might be swaying in your back. Pull those hips in, pull those ribs in. Take a deep breath. Press through your hands and gaze back behind you. And then come down and try the other leg. Most important thing is to make sure you're breathing and you're using your breath in between your efforts to get up to the wall. So remember, take an inhale, shift forward, exhale all of the air out on empty. That's when the grounded foot will kick up. So we've done a little bit of work with bandhas in past classes, and Mula Bandha, which is lifting the pelvic floor, actually gives you energy right in the middle of your core, right? So it harnesses it in. It makes it easier to find your way up into inversions. It also helps you remember to always breathe. And so when you are upside down and you do get your feet up on the wall, make sure that you are checking in at your chest, that you are breathing. There's so much physical integration that has to happen when we flip ourselves upside down that not only do you forget your grocery list, you forget to breathe. So remember, check down that line, just like a checkpoint, checklist, just like the grocery list, right? Hips, solar plexus, chest, and then finally head. All right, so we'll do that one more time. Kicking up. If you get up here and you're kind of like, I'm an old pro, gaze down at your hands and using your finger pads, see if you can press into your fingers and lift your heels off of the mat. So you're keeping your whole body straight, just like we did on the floor, but just starting to work with shifting weight from fingers into heel of the hands And heels of the hands back into your fingers. Your fingers, your hands become your feet. You really need to start to be aware of how you're shifting that weight around. All right. And then if you are toast, and you are ready for this class to end, start to make your way down. You're gonna get as close as you can to that wall. Drag your knees up and in. So one side is all the way up against that beautiful wall that helped us not fall over. And then shifting a little bit forward, you're gonna pivot so that you can put your feet up the wall. Walk yourself in so that your feet, or your hips rather, are as close to the base of the wall as they can be. And then if you'd like to, you can take that strap and then just use it to tie a little knot around your calves or right above your knees. Just a gentle knot. And lay your legs back up the wall. This just helps keep our legs together with even less effort. Drape your arms down by your side. Take a deep breath in. Press into the back of your head so you can lift your chest a little bit, and then walk your shoulders under your chest. Exhale. Let your torso melt down into the mat. Let your palms open up to the ceiling. Start to feel the weight of your feet drop down to your knees. From your knees, drop down into your hips. So that the weight of your legs are no longer a strain on your hips as they lift and move, but instead, you're helping to ground those femur heads back into your hip sockets. And move your awareness up from your hips into that space right at the bottom of your ribs. Notice as you inhale how your diaphragm pulls down behind the space of your navel. And as you exhale, how the diaphragm pulls back up into the cavity of your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Continue to breathe. Feeling your ribs expand away from your heart and then drop back in with each exhale. Now drawing your awareness even farther to the very top of your spine. Feel that little point at the back of your head that gently balances on your mat as you rest. And from that point, zip all the way down your spine back to your hips. Inhale, travel all the way back up to that little point. Exhale down, hips. Inhale up, head. One more time. Exhale. And inhale. This time as you exhale, let your knees start to bend, dropping down into your chest. And take that strap off. Gently hug your knees into your chest. Maybe even lifting your hips off of the ground. And then roll to one side. Take another breath here. finding a nice rounded spine. And then gently press into that bottom hand, sliding up into a seat. And since we're at the wall, use the wall here. Shimmy your hips back, hands on your knees, and then gently press your spine into the wall, finding support behind you. Press down through your hips. Notice how the very top of your head grows just a little bit the more that you integrate. Bring your palms together to heart center. Take a deep breath in. Let your thumbs travel up to third eye center. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.